In this global race to build the future of computing, everyone's chasing one thing: quantum supremacy. It is a super high-stakes game. We're talking massive investments, huge geopolitical implications. But while all eyes are on the usual tech giants, there's a really fascinating story of strategic resilience unfolding somewhere you might not expect.
So, that's the big question, right? Who's actually going to win this thing? And it's not just about a faster computer. No, it's about unlocking totally new frontiers in medicine, in climate science, national security. The answer? Well, it might not be as simple as you think. When you think quantum, you probably think of a ton of money. The tech superpowers just pouring tens of billions of dollars into this brute force approach, basically trying to buy their way across the finish line.
But what if the winner isn't the one with the deepest pockets? What if another player, working with just a fraction of the budget, is using a completely different playbook, one that's based on brainpower, smart partnerships, and just sheer determination? Okay, let's dive into this.
And that player is Argentina. Now, I know they're not typically seen as a contender in a global tech race like this, but they are quietly and very methodically executing a formal national strategy to carve out their own place in the quantum future.
And this isn't just some vague idea. No, this is their official national quantum roadmap laid out in 2023. See, instead of trying to outspend everyone, they're focused on building their own sovereign capabilities, developing their own hardware and software, training up their own people, and applying it to things that really matter to them, like energy and cybersecurity. It's a really pragmatic, smart strategy designed for self-reliance.
So if their strategy isn't built on money, what is it built on? Well, the answer is simple, and it's powerful: brain power. Argentina is leveraging a long and really respected academic tradition in theoretical physics. That's their core asset. And we're not just talking about one or two places here. This academic foundation is incredibly diverse. We're talking world-class institutions, and each one is specializing in a critical piece of the quantum puzzle. You've got Instituto Balseiro working on ion traps, ITBA on superconducting qubits, and the fact that they just launched the new CTC, a whole new center for quantum tech, shows this is a coordinated national effort that's only growing. And look, this isn't just a handful of professors tinkering in a lab. The National Research Council, CONACET, is funding over 60 full-time researchers and postdocs. That is a serious investment in people, creating this critical mass of talent that's dedicated to pushing the country's quantum agenda forward. Now, here's the crucial part: making that jump from the academic world to the industrial one. And Argentina is doing exactly that. INVAP, their state-owned tech powerhouse, these are the folks known for building nuclear reactors and satellites, is now actively applying all this research to things like quantum sensing and secure communications. And that right there, that's the strategy in a nutshell: turning deep knowledge into practical, sovereign technology.
Okay, so you have this solid academic foundation. What's the next piece of the puzzle? Well, it's diplomacy. Argentina knows it can't go it alone, so it's building this incredible network of international partnerships, all designed for maximum impact, but with minimal political strings attached.
And their diplomatic playbook is really smart. Regionally, they're a key player in the Latin American quantum network. But globally, they're building these bridges for scientific exchange with heavy hitters like Germany and Canada. And they're aiming high, too, trying to join Europe's premier quantum satellite project, and even getting a seat at the table at the G7 Science Ministerial. They are making sure their voice is heard.
And this quote just nails their whole approach. It's about sharing knowledge and advancing science, but on their own terms. They're chasing technical collaboration, not getting tangled up in geopolitical alignments. It's a very, very savvy way to punch way above their weight class.
But of course, this incredibly ambitious plan doesn't exist in a vacuum. The whole strategy is being forged in the fire of a really challenging reality, and that creates this constant tension between what's possible and what's practical on the ground. And this really gets to the heart of their whole situation. On one side, you have this incredible brainpower and real government interest, but on the other, you have the harsh reality of chronic underfunding. We're talking a national budget of just $12 million. Plus, currency instability and import rules that make just getting basic lab equipment a constant struggle. This is the duality they live in every single day. But here's where the story takes a really interesting turn. What if those very constraints, what if they aren't just obstacles? What if they're actually the engine that's forging a more resilient, a more creative, and maybe even a more sustainable path forward? Because despite all the challenges, the momentum is undeniable.
I mean, look at their roadmap for the near future. They're launching a national quantum cryptography pilot. They're deepening those key partnerships. They're scaling up education. They are not slowing down at all. They are laser-focused on hitting these concrete, achievable goals.
And really, this is what it all boils down to. For Argentina, resilience isn't just about surviving. It's about innovating because of the constraints. It forces them to be smarter, to be more collaborative, and to be more focused. Resilience is the very engine that's driving their ambition.
So the message coming out of Argentina is crystal clear. They are not waiting around for a perfect economy or a huge budget to make their move. They are investing in what they can control: their talent, their ideas, and their long-term strategy. They are literally building progress right in the middle of the chaos.
Which leaves us with a final, really powerful question. In a global race that seems to be all about who has the most money, Argentina is betting that intellectual grit, smart diplomacy, and just pure resilience can carve out a winning path. And their story, well, it might just be redefining what it really takes to compete for the future.